The media cannot report news. They have to be a part of the news. This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright. In charge of all the controls, as always, is Jason Wainwright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. As always, you can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the icon bell to get notified of any new content, which, as you know, comes out every Monday at 9 o'clock. Now, with you, the listening and viewing audience, let's go over a couple things here of more astonishing numbers that have came our way that we're so excited to get to share with you. Just over the last 30 days, Jason, our podcasters were 30,247 listeners. 30,247 over the last 30 days of the last four releases of our show, obviously over 7,500 and continuing to rise. That is our best 30 days to date. Very good for us, and thank you to you. Now, as far as YouTube goes, we had 3,244 views on YouTube in the last 7 days. And in those 3,244 views, had 46.6 hours of watch time in the last 7 days. And our subscribers in the last 28 days has went up 200%. Once again, we are very flattered, very honored to get to come to you on a weekly basis and bring our knowledge and our information and some of the things that are going on in the world. But yes, thank you once again. Continue to email us, as we've already talked about, and give us your thoughts, your ideas, your expressions, and maybe something that you may want to know about here in the near future. Jason, I was thinking about today's show. Obviously, we did the reaction video last week. We got more coming today. In the last week, I've also had a couple of other things that have came up. I have some stuff I really wanted to touch on today that has to do with some of the things that are being taught in elementary school, some of the things you see when you walk in the door. I had some other things on what you should be talking about when you're in meetings, whether it's a meeting to do with business, whether it's a meeting to do with your children, the schoolhouse, the boardroom, whatever it is. And then, of course, we've been promoting and talking about how we're going to get to our Dallas Cowboys, which I'm so excited about talking about, because last fall we were in the midst of getting our show off the ground, if you will, and talking more about what we do and what we're not going to do and the content, etc., and not into what typically most people view as fall baseball ending, football, basketball, and hockey starting up. But I don't know how we can go any further with this episode without getting into what happened here actually in this last week, which was yesterday as we record the show, which is the Donald Trump going and being booked at the Fulton County, Georgia jail, which obviously is in the Atlanta area, the Atlanta Fulton County Stadium that, as a matter of fact, Hank Aaron hit his 715th home run at and broke Babe Ruth's record many, many years ago. I believe the Hank Aaron was 1974. And Babe had obviously set that record in the 20s and the 30s of his accumulation. But nevertheless, can we go to the mugshot of Donald Trump to start with, so I can talk about what we see here? Now, if you did not know it was a mugshot, and you did not know that, or we did not have this Fulton County officer's badge up here in the corner, probably the logo for the Fulton County Sheriff's Department. If you did not have those things on here, you would think it was just another picture of Donald Trump. Very well. I mean, he's in a blue suit. He's got on a white shirt. He's got on his red tie. It's an image that you have seen many, many times since he first got on the campaign trail back in 2014, 2015. And here we are. His hair, as usual, looks awful. I don't know how this man cannot get somebody to tend to his hair. I mean, he's got this beautiful wife. I bet they know a hairdresser. Or something. Somebody needs to get this guy some jail. But nevertheless, it is a Donald Trump daily picture.
Well, they're trying to get us from jail, but it's the JEIL version of it.
But
yeah,
yes, right. Very, very, very nice. Very, very good. You know, some of these things we've been talking about over the last month, Jason's starting to get a little bit more talkative on that end of the table. You sit down there and not say a word for a good year. Now here we are. My point is that this is just like a normal pitcher. And the reason I say this is because of what we're going to lead into with the reporter that is on MSNBC last night, Nicole Wallace, who does her report on what happened and transpired yesterday by showing the entourage going, I believe it's to the airport, then to go to Georgia, where I believe he spent no more than maybe an hour at I don't know if it included the drive time, getting booked, getting back in the vehicle, but he was not in the state of Georgia for very long.
No, I think it was from the time he landed to the time he took off. I think it was about an hour.
Okay.
Not much more.
All right. Let's just call it 2 hours.
Still.
That is no time at all to get off an airplane, take your Bearcat, your parade down to the local jail, because we know that the airport's not down there by the Fulton County jail cell. It's, who knows, he may have flown into the Atlanta airport, but it's going to take some time to do this. And he was able to get off a plane, go get booked, and get back on a plane in an hour that we're calling 2 hours, just for conservative standpoint.
Right.
Impossible. Now I want to show the video here, Jason. We got that up, and where we can show the video of Miss Wallace, who, by the way, was a Republican advisor counselor at one time. MSNBC reporting last night.
Donald Trump, the disgraced ex-president, the frontrunner for the Republican nominee for president, 4 times indicted, departed his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. He's en route to Fulton County, Georgia, via Newark Airport, we believe. He will surrender himself for processing at an overcrowded jail with a reputation for violence and neglect. A jail that is accustomed to holding defendants facing charges up to and including violent crimes, where stabbings are frequent. Actually, 3 people have lost their lives over the last month. That jail is where the disgraced ex-president of these United States is heading right now.
Okay, Jason. Let's start that video back over.
Go, Donald Trump, the disgraced ex-president,
the disgraced ex-president. Now, in your lifetime, in my lifetime, I'm sure maybe it was, maybe Trump during his time, maybe Clinton, who was indicted, maybe not indicted, I'm sorry, impeached.
Right.
Maybe Nixon, who obviously resigned. Maybe they were, the words disgraced were used. Now I'm talking about, as I just basically ripped on Trump's hair, and the way he was on his mugshot was no different than any other mugshot without going to jail mugshot that you've ever seen of anybody that's out there. If they took a mugshot of me, the same shot would look today, yesterday, and tomorrow is what I'm saying. Has nothing to do with being in a jail cell. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to start off NBC by the disgraced president, the disgraced ex-president, not former president. Now, that's where I was going with Nixon and Clinton, and maybe even Trump during his 16 through 20 deal, is why now are we a disgraced president instead of a former president? The most powerful position in the world, a reporter on a news station that gets broadcast out to the world and influences people. This is where it goes back to me all the time. News and reporters no longer report the news. They have to be a part of the news. They have to make the news, and they have to do what I think is really disgraceful, since we're going to use the word disgrace, is influence the listening audience. Mm-hmm. They can't just report the news. They can't go out to the car scene and talk about a crash that happened and just give that news. All right. We have to have an opinion. Maybe the guy was drunk. Maybe the gal was drunk. Maybe they weren't paying attention. Maybe they were, all this assuming that goes on. Okay. So now we've already disgraced a president that this country, the United States of America, voted into office. So if you voted for him, are you a disgrace? Because there's still a whole lot of support for this guy.
Frontrunner for the Republican nominee for president, 4 times in.
Front runner. We go from disgraced ex-president, which is on one side of the spectrum, and now she throws in he's the front runner. I mean, who's the fool? How does? I mean, you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You say he's the disgraced. Okay, I can promise you Donald Trump does not think he's disgraceful. And there are 70 million Americans in the last election when Biden supposedly won. Now, let me restate that, and I'll set that here in a minute. But here we go. 70 million Americans just 2.5 years ago voted for this disgraced, as she puts it. And then she comes back and says he is the front runner. Okay? He's the front runner based on polls that I'm sure MSNBC has taken. So now, are you a disgraced? Because when you they did the poll and they called you, who would you vote for today? I'll vote for Donald Trump. Are you now a disgrace?
Yeah. What does it say about the
What-
American citizen?
what does it say about him?
Saying that they would vote for him
Yes.
in this upcoming
Yes.
election.
Not only did he get voted for in 16 over a very popular Hillary Clinton, he got 70 million votes in 20, and now he's the front runner for 24. And this person, Mrs. Wallace, has the audacity to say he's a disgraced, but he also is the front runner. How is that? Well, he finished last, but they gave him the first place trophy. Jeez. Continuation.
Indicted, departed his golf club in Bedminster, New Jersey. He's en route to Fulton County, Georgia, via Newark Airport, we believe. He will surrender himself for processing at an overcrowded jail with a reputation.
Okay. Now, let's go the other direction here. I'm watching this entourage go down this road. They've got a camera set up, MSNBC does, or whomever they're getting their
Footage from.
yes, that's correct. I have counted, just to where I've stopped this video, 11 cars.
Yeah.
11 cars in the parade here going out to the airport. Here again, he's the front runner. That means a whole lot of people like him. And we've already went over what happened in 16 and 20 and who the front runner is for 24. Now let me give you this. I believe it's 2014. Myself, my parents, sister, I was given tickets to go watch the Texas Rangers. And we got to sit right behind the dugout and right behind where Nolan Ryan sits. So that's how long ago it's been. It's when Nolan Ryan was still with the Rangers.
Gotcha.
So it might have been 13, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
I
I know him and George Bush like to watch a lot of that. Is that where you're going?
That's where I'm going. So we're sitting there, the game's about to start, and here comes out of the tunnel former President George Bush, not disgraced.
George W.
That's right, not disgraced. First Lady Laura Bush, Nolan Ryan, and Mrs. Ryan. Sitting right there. 3 rows ahead of us. They were on the front row. They put me on the 4th. I'm not really sure why, but I was on the 4th row. There were 3 Secret Service people with them. Basically, 1 at each corner and 1 right behind the president. Two, they didn't have any in front of them, behind them, on both left and right, and 1 right behind the president. So at a ball game, the former president, George W. Bush, had 3 Secret Service with him, including his wife, a very popular Nolan Ryan, and his wife. We only had 3 people there. This former president needs, right now, 11 cars to get to the airport. I guess it speeds up the process of getting booked in. Let's continue on.
Reputation for violence and neglect. A jail that is accustomed to holding defendants facing charges up to and including violent crimes, where stabbings are frequent. And actually, 3 people have lost their lives over the last month. That jail is where the disgraced ex-president of these United States is heading right now.
Okay. I started off this process here, this show, by talking about the mugshot of what he has on. Looks like a normal, not only a normal Donald Trump, a normal president of what they wear every day. Now, Mrs. Wallace has decided to tell you, and she knows dadgum good and well, that he's going to go in there he probably won't even see a sheriff. There'll be one there to fingerprint him and take his picture. He's going to go in the back door, and they're going to be there for a few minutes, and they're going to have a joke and take some pictures, do some fingerprinting, and he's going to walk right back out that back door, jump into another car, take 11 car parade back to the airport, and fly back out of Georgia. That's what's going to happen. She has on here, at this particular jail, Jason, it's violence. They have stabbings there. There were 3 people killed in this jail in the last 30 days. Painting a picture that this is how bad of a person this man is, that this is where he has to go. This is where we got to go book him at. He's not going down to Mayberry RFD and getting booked in. We're taking him out here. I mean, she all but said this was Alcatraz. I mean, I can't believe that they don't have like 35 helicopters out there. This is how crazy media is. Just the fact of how we blow this stuff out. She said he'd been indicted 4 times. I'm kind of more interested in how many times has he been convicted. Okay? Because anybody can get indicted, O.J. Simpson.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean you're guilty. Everybody has an opinion. But we talk about how great this system is that we have, the judicial system of the United States of America, and it is. But yet, in most people's eyes, you're guilty till proven innocent, starting with Nicole Wallace, MSNBC advisor, reporter. Now, if I'm going to read between the lines, as I said here a few minutes ago at the start, she is a former Republican advisor. Donald Trump has been the face of the Republican Party since 2015. I'm going to say, assuming, making an opinion, judgment, that Miss Wallace, the former Republican advisor, has had a run-in with Donald J. Trump. Sometime between now, all the way back to 2015. She's now got her platform called MSNBC. I'm the head honcho. I'm the head reporter here today, and I'm going to report on the disgraceful former president, disgraceful ex-president who is going to a jail where, I mean, I would be scared for my life if I was going with him. I don't know. I just make him go in there by himself if I was one of his Secret Service agents, because it appears I'm going to get killed. I mean, there's been 3 killings there in the last 30 days, Jason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I felt that you, every time we went somewhere, you had a chance to get killed, I probably wouldn't go with you anymore. But see, I have a little common sense. I use the left side of my brain. That's where the information is. And I know that that's not going to happen, as does she. So he's going to the Fulton County Jail, which it also does. It paints a bad picture on that county about how they're just a bunch of heathens and killers and murderers and rumblers down there who, oh, by the way, is a Democratic state in the last election.
Would you consider this to potentially be election interference?
Without even dissecting it to what your question is.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that is, let me restate, got to be careful on these wavelengths, Jason.
Right.
Most of the things that come out of MSNBC, CBS, NBC, Fox, whomever, all of them is election interference.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah. It's an opinion, though. So I guess that's where they
Now,
try
wait a
to get
minute.
away with it.
News is not an opinion.
It shouldn't be. You just should be reporting
Yeah.
the news and let us make our own
You
decision.
know, it's either raining or it's not. Your team either won or they didn't.
Right.
That's the news.
Yeah.
I mean, we're at, next tomorrow is the first day of school or it's not. That's what you report. You don't have an opinion on whether the administration is doing the right thing by starting school tomorrow in 105-degree heat. The fact is that they are. We have gotten so far away from facts. And Money, Motivation, and Mike continues and hopes to continue as we try to stay on the facts. And when I say hope is because sometimes you report things that are maybe things that we talk about on this show that we think is the truth. We've done our research. We've done what we believe is enough to be able to come on these wavelengths and tell you that this is the truth. Well, this is right off MSNBC, so I'm pretty certain that it is the truth. That what she said is exactly the way she feels, and obviously it has nothing to do with facts. Of course, some of the things that she said are facts, who have nothing to do with a man or woman getting booked into a jail, and it has nothing to do with a conviction. Everybody has their opinions. But at the end of the day, man, the federal government, for once, needs to do something about the media. And if they've passed laws, they haven't worked.
Mm-hmm.
You can always find us at info@mx3.vip, and you can find all our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our content, such as what we just came through today. Hey, I really do like these reaction videos, and Jason, continuing to find the latest and greatest news that is out there. And of course, a big world international event of a former president getting booked into jail is a big event. So even though these other topics that I believe are more important, the world wants to hear about this stuff. And because that's what we've been trained, is the negativity. You know, we're not interested in today hearing about friendship and integrity and gratitude and generosity and some of the other things that we'll be talking about here on future episodes of Money, Motivation, and Mike. Please continue to email us, continues to give us your thoughts and your feedback. And once again, from my heart, I know Jason's as well, we are flattered. Continue to listen, continue to download, continue to view our show. We are very, 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 very indebted to you. Until next time, continue to live your life the right way.